Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast. My name is Terrence Crystal, and I'm your hostess with the mostess. Now, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Yes, I am very good at the moment. Life is swell, life is great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate. And yes, a lot has happened since I last saw you. We had the 96th Annual Academy Awards, and it was a very good ceremony. Now, let me preface this. I think that I think the past couple of years the ceremonies have been kind of either very good or very bad. I feel like this was one of the very good ones. I felt like they were very quick and concise. It felt shorter than usual ceremonies, which was great. It was nice that all the winners, minus one, and I'll get into that in a moment, all the winners were 100% deserved. Like, every single Oscar that all the films got was absolutely deserved. And Oppenheimer, of course, was the main winner. It won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Editing, Best Cinematography, and Best Score. Now, if you were to say that to someone, you would be like, yes, that makes sense. Of course it won that. It deserved. And absolutely rightly so. And then second place to that, which I was a bit surprised because I knew that Poor Things was a very good film and that it would get some recognition from the Academy. But Poor Things went home last night with 4 Academy Awards, including Best Actress for Emma Stone, Production Design, Costume Design, and Makeup. So it was the second most awarded movie of the night. And then what won 2? Trying to think. There was one more film that won 2 Oscars, and then every other major film just got 1. I'm trying to remember. What got 2? Oh my god, I'm blanking. Not Barbie, not The Holdovers, not Godzilla. Wait, I need to check this out. Wait. While I'm checking this out, I will say it was actually a very good ceremony with some really funny bits. Like, there was one bit with Kate McKinnon and America Ferrera that was hilarious with Steven Spielberg. And then there was the only bit that wasn't funny was, unfortunately, the host. I didn't think he had like 1 or 2 good jokes that I laughed at, but overall I thought he was quite poor. Trying to think. Oscar winner 2024. The Zone of Interest. The Zone of Interest was the 3rd most awarded film of that night, winning 2 Oscars for Best International Feature Film and Best Sound. Yes. Oh, that's wild. And a lot of firsts for a lot of people. Like, Wes Anderson won his first Oscar. Christopher Nolan won his first Oscar. Robert Downey Jr. won his first Oscar. Yeah. Yeah. No, I really like the ceremony. The bit at the end with Al Pacino announcing Best Picture. God. I'm sorry, I just had a coffee with milk. That's why I'm a bit like, when Al Pacino presented Best Picture at the end, he did. So usually when you present the Academy Awards, you go up, you say a little spiel about the category and what it means to be that creative in that category. Then you announce the nominees, and then you go, and the Oscar goes to whoever. So usually with Best Picture, you would usually go like da 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 ba 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 ba, and here are the nominees. Here are the 10 Best Picture nominees. Here are the nominees for Best Picture. But I think this year, I think half of it was that throughout the whole entire night, they would have little 20, 25-second montages of each of the Best Picture nominees to showcase them. And usually in normal years, or previous years, I should say, they would have this and they would present that during the whole entire ceremony. And then at the very end, they would announce the nominees again. I think this year, since they had already announced, or since they already showed each of the nominees throughout the whole entire show, in order to save time, they were just like, you've seen a montage of all the 10 Best Picture nominees throughout tonight's ceremony. And then give a little spiel, and then go, and the Oscar goes to, just kind of to save time instead of repeating the nominees again, which I get, to save time. But Al Pacino was just like, da 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 da. I'm just gonna, verbatim, he was like, I'm gonna open this envelope here. In my eyes, see Oppenheimer. And people were just like, what? What? Oh shit. Oh shit, that's the winner. Oh my God. Oh, it was just so funny because no one knew what to do. No, everyone was just like, because he literally just went, my eyes see Oppenheimer, and it's like, oh, that's the winner. I laughed out loud when that happened. I'll tell you who did it the best. It was Jane Fonda for the 2020 ceremony for the movies released in 2019. And she did it beautifully. She announced the nominees, and then she went, and the Oscar goes to, open the envelope, Parasite. And that perfect pause was brilliant. She had just a good enough dramatic pause to like have people on their toes, and then like, I loved it. So yeah, the Oscars were good this year. I am very, the one category I didn't agree with was Best Animated Feature Film. I think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse should have won. Now, I've seen Boy and the Heron. I liked what it did. I think it's a good film. I think The Boy and the Heron, unfortunately, narratively, it gets a bit confusing. It's a beautiful film with great voice actors and great direction, but I thought that Across the Spider-Verse was just slightly better. Now, I know they're two completely different films, but I think Spider-Man should have won. But I'm always happy to see a 2D animated film win at the Oscars, because I feel like obviously we're going so much into the future that we're progressing the genre of animation, the cinema of animation. But it's nice to see the traditional animated, like 2D drawings getting recognition. But I still think Spider-Man should have won. Anyway, today's going to be a bit of a different episode because if you follow me on my Instagram or my TikTok even, you might have seen that I posted this photo meme thing of like my favorite films. And there's a bunch of different categories and different things. And I wanted to talk about each one. Now, there are a lot, so I'm not going to be going on for ages. But I'm going to go through each title of each category from this meme template. And yeah, I'm just going to discuss each one The one movie I did pick, and maybe others I would pick. And if you have any that you think would fit this categories, then let me know in the comments or anything. So this is favorite movie meme. I got this from the guy. His name is Reese. He does a lot of like film and TV interview content. He's really funny and he's very chill as well. He's like this really tall, curly head man, and he just loves films. And he's also really good with interviews. Like he actually asks very good questions and not just the like, what was it like working on set? What were your costumes like? He actually gets like deeply involved, which I love. So I got this from him, and then you shared around. I sound like such a millennial. I found this meme online, and I shared it around, and you guys can share it. Oh, Jesus Christ. I sound 27. No. Okay. So this favorite meme thing, and also it's films that like for me that almost affected me growing up. Now people might look at this and just be like, Jesus, did you not like watch any films before 2000? And to answer that, yeah. Me growing up, my frontal lobe did not form until I was like feckin' 12. I don't know if that's correct scientifically, but for me, like, obviously we have the films that we grew up with. Like, I loved The Sound of Music. I loved like a bunch of other films. I loved Mary Poppins. But for me growing up, it was the films that I was seeing in the cinema or on DVD of the recent times that were my constant form of entertainment. So a lot of my favorite films are from the past 25 years. Or maybe, 20 to 25 years. So, yeah. That's it. I think it's different. I think there are some people who have like old souls who really love like, the like old films. Like they really love like certain themes and certain styles of like the 80s and the 70s. And then there are other people who love like the older films like of the 30s and 40s. And you're allowed to like that. For me, I love films from the 2000s and the 2010s. And honestly, from almost a couple of them from the 2020s. So let's begin. The first category on this favorite movie meme template is favorite film of all time. And I believe I've talked about this before in a previous episode, but I can't remember. But my favorite film of all time, and this is actually where I get before the 2000s, my favorite film of all time is Jurassic Park. I loved that film. I've watched that film, I can honestly say, and this is not an exaggeration, 150 times. I still think the visuals hold up today and are even better than some of the films that are coming out in the past 5 years or even 15 or 20 years. It still looks crisp and real, and it's fun, it's dramatic, it sets up this world. Now, the subsequent films that came after this, like, I like The Lost World. I thought what they tried to do and expand the Jurassic Park world, and then Jurassic Park 3 was where they kind of like shit the bed. But I actually really liked the first Jurassic World movie. Obviously, it has its problems. But the concept of the fully realized Jurassic Park, like a Walt Disney World or a Universal, I thought the way they executed that in the first Jurassic World movie was brilliant. Like just this big commercialized, almost boring to adults, but exciting for kids park. Because at that point, people are so used to dinosaurs that, it's boring. People are bored, and that's why they created the new Indominus Rex, and then the other two films came after that, which were shite. But yeah, Jurassic Park is my favorite film. Yeah, I remember growing up. I was way too young to be watching this film. I remember watching this film when I was like 7 or even 8, because this film, I think this film was 1992. I'm gonna check this. Jurassic Park. 1993. 1993. So this was 3 years before I was born. So yeah, I remember I'd be like 7 or 8 years old, or even 6 or 5, watching this. And I remember there was this one line where Jeff Goldblum would look at this giant mound of dino shit and just go like, "No, that is one big pile of shit." And I remember I would quote that all the time, because obviously when you're a kid, cursing is, ooh, I could curse, ooh, do. And my parents would just be like, "Why are you cursing?" And I'd just be like, "I'm just quoting the film that you let me watch." Oh God. I remember I never really was scared of it. I was more excited. Like, the scene, some people say that the scene with the velociraptors in the kitchen is like one of the most terrifying scenes growing up and watching. And I remember, I think I was kind of scared watching it, but I was more like excited, like watching the velociraptors almost kill them. It was like, oh my God, oh shit, oh my fucking God, whoa. Yeah. No, I love this film, and I still watch it to this day. I think that's also I think I've talked about this before. That's also a big factor of films nowadays. I feel like a film from 1993 that can still be watched today in 2024 and still be good and watchable and still hold its own is a very, that's a masterpiece. Yeah, so favorite film of all time is Jurassic Park. Now, the next category is best script. I put down Parasite. Out of all the films I've seen, I've never, a lot of the time, I don't know what's going on. Like, sometimes there are good plot twists, and sometimes there are ones where I'm just like, oh, you're the killer, blah, 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 blah. But this script for Parasite, I had no idea what was going to happen next. Genuinely, I had no idea what was going to happen. But basically, Parasite is a fantastic film. It's one of the greatest Best Picture winners of the past 10 years. But the script is incredible. It's almost... I don't know how to describe it. The dialogue of foreshadowing, and then the change of tone is what makes this script so good. Like I said before, I had no idea what was going to happen. This is a reminder. Oh. Clean my room. Hello, my Alexa, be quiet. My Alexa. So every Monday, I have my Alexa give me a reminder to clean my room. Because I forget sometime. Meow, 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 meow. So, oh, wait, what? Oh, sorry. My Alexa. So you just heard my Alexa being a bitch and telling me to clean my room. Anyway, Parasite, yeah, Parasite, great script. No idea what was coming next. A great conclusion at the end. It rounded out each character in a good way. Like the mom, the dad, the sister, the brother, the rich family. It's truly like capped their character arc. And it was fully satisfying. Yeah. Best script, Parasite. Now the next one, I'm gonna kind of go through these as fast as I can, and if I want to talk about something specifically, I'll go more in depth. Favorite poster. My favorite poster is the movie Call Me by Your Name, and it's the blue poster with Timothée Chalamet and Armie Hammer leaning their heads on each other, and with the yellow text of Call Me by Your Name against the blue clear sky. Oh, it's beautiful. And it's such a... It doesn't give you much, but it tells you everything. And I think it's such an iconic poster just of how simple it is. And yet it's like, this is a love story. But it's not... I like how they're not even... Like, obviously, Timmy's head is on Armie's shoulder, and they are physically caressing each other, but they're not looking at each other, which I think is a nice indication of how this relationship goes. Because obviously in the film, they have this fling, this very intense affair, but it's all... not all in vain, but Oliver, the character that Armie Hammer plays, he leaves, so there's no way, and then he leaves, and then he gets married. So this love affair was... You do appreciate it at the time, but it's all in vain. So I like that how they're caressing each other physically, but emotionally, they're not looking at each other because it won't last. And I think that's quite beautiful. And the clear blue sky with the yellow text and the yellow fancy writing text, I think, is gorgeous. So yeah, that's my favorite movie poster. Now, one movie that... I'm not going to talk about this much. The next category is I'll watch it someday. And that for me is The Shawshank Redemption. Never seen it. I've seen clips. I think I basically know the story because almost every single TV show or film has has made fun of it in a way. So Shawshank Redemption, I'll watch it someday. I will watch it someday, but not today. A big personal impact. That's the next title. A big personal impact. La La Land. I've talked about La La Land before. I've never cried as hard in a cinema as I did at the end of La La Land. Like, I was heaving crying, and that movie changed me in ways that I'm still yet to figure out. I kind of like the change that we're seeing because I remember when the movie first came out, people loved it. Then there was a period where people started hating it, or the people who didn't like it from the get-go realized that it was a quote-unquote bad movie, and now we're at a point where people are reappreciating it again. So me, I loved it from the get-go, so I don't know what the fuck you bitches are talking about. That movie was amazing. That movie is gold. That movie is solid. No problems. I loved it. It changed me. I still listen to the soundtrack. I still cannot listen to the final song without tearing up. Just the final bum 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 bum. In the past 10 years, I have not had a film with the music being so impactful that I still think about it today and I still get emotional listening to it. Yes, biggest personal impact, La La Land. Now, best 3-hour plus movie. Best 3-hour plus movie is Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Excuse me. Yeah. I mean, there's not much. It's sort of self-explanatory. The final Lord of the Rings film is 3 hours and 15 minutes long, and it does not waste a single minute or second in concluding this epic story. It's just epic. That is the one word. It's epic, but it's also extremely emotional and in depth, and like it connects with you, and it rounds out these characters' arcs in such a satisfying way. And it doesn't feel like it's 3 hours long because you want more. It leaves you satisfied, but yet wanting more. Like, you want the film to be 4 hours long. Yes. Best 3-hour film, Return of the King. Now, I'm going to blast through these ones because I feel like I might be droning on a bit. A film that you like, but everyone hates, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I really like it, but I know for a fact that a lot of people hate it. I understand why people hate it because I can acknowledge that it's a very bad script, but I think that it brought Marvel out of this boring one director plateau it was going through, and it was visually creative. I love the characters, and me personally, I agreed with what happened to the characters during this film. It makes sense to me. Now, did they not utilize some of the characters to their full potential? Yes. But with what they did in of the film, I thought was justified. So yeah. And a lot of people don't like this because they think it bastardized Wanda's character and to an extent Doctor Strange's character. And it bastardized the whole seriousness of the MCU. Grow the fuck up. My God, this is a flying magician in a cape with literally like a I love Doctor Strange, but his wig sometimes like gets me like oh, his wig is crazy sometimes. This is a flying man in a poorly made wig with a cape that is alive and that kills giant squid monsters. Just let them have fun. Whatever happened to fun? Why don't you have fun anymore? Yeah. I think I liked it. I liked it. Everyone hates it. Boo. Now, next up, we have a film that I hate, but everyone likes. Now, doing a side-by-side Benedict Cumberbatch movies, my film that I hate, but everyone loves, is Power of the Dog. The Power of the Dog is a Netflix Western film directed by Jane Champion and stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Kirsten Dunst, and I can't remember the other guys, but they're the two ones that stick out of my head. I did not like this movie. It was boring as fucking shit. I was so goddamn bored. Yeah. I wanted this film to end. This film, even though it wasn't 3 hours long, it felt like it was 4 hours long. And even the twist at the end with the kid, I just, I, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I just didn't really, I didn't really like it. I just thought it was so boring. I thought that the performances were okay. Like, for the actors, it was out of their comfort zone, and maybe some of them deserved Oscar nominations, but I don't even know why this film is loved as it is. I really didn't like it. And the thing about me is I really like slow burn films. Like, I love Call Me by Your Name. I love Past Lives, and those are slow burn. But I feel like those are portrayed and crafted in a way where they're still exciting to watch. This film, however, it drove me to tears. Like, oh my God, I wanted to turn it off, but yeah. Now, for me, I feel like this film, the next category is underrated. This film, it's Silver Linings Playbook, which is a film from 2012 with Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, and Jennifer Lawrence won her first Oscar for this film. So you may be thinking, Terrence, Jennifer Lawrence won an Oscar for this film, and it was nominated for a bunch of other major film awards. Why do you think it's underrated? Well, I don't know. I think people don't talk about it enough to this day as they should. I feel like it's one of those films where people kind of almost forget about it, and they're just like, oh yeah, that's a film. And it's really, really good. It's a really good, solid film with an incredible script, good performances. Yeah. I feel like it's just not like talked about in the pop culture zeitgeist or cycle as it should be. Yeah, and that's why I think it's underrated. I feel like more people should be appreciative or like watch Silver Linings Playbook. Yeah. Now, overrated, Inception. Inception from Christopher Nolan, I think is very overrated. I think that it's one of those films where people tell you it's an amazing film, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's fine. It's not like groundbreaking. Like, the fuck? Everyone was like, oh, you need to watch this, blah, 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 blah. Then I watched it and I was just like, that's it? I think it teeters on the line of being how do I describe this? Pretentious because you don't understand it. Like, I feel like if you leave a film and you're like, I don't understand what was going on or what was happening, and someone goes to you, oh, you just didn't get it. Now, that applies, I guess, for some things. But I feel like if you have to like go home and research and look up like different videos because you were left confused after the movie, I feel like that movie didn't do a good job of portraying its message. Now, to the counter of that, it is a good point to say that a film does not have to spoon feed you its messages and morals and values. That is true. But I still think that if a film is still confusing to you and you just don't get it, and people try to describe it to you and you still don't get it, then you're allowed to just be like, I don't get it. I don't think the film was good. Sorry. Just got a message. Message. Yeah. So, Inception, I think was, oh my God. Lol. Wait, let me just silence my phone. So yeah, overrated, Inception. Next category is a film where I go, why do I like this? And I've talked about it before, but it's the animated Netflix film Leo with Adam Sandler. I don't know why. But when I watch it, I like it. And I literally go, why do I like this? This to a general public, this is not really a good film, but I like it. Why do I like it? I don't know. So, and I've talked about Leo before on this podcast. You can go listen back to that episode. But yeah, Leo is an animated Netflix film with Adam Sandler about an old lizard wanting to escape and enjoy life. And I eat the shit out of it. I like it. Now, the next category is great soundtrack. This was actually a really hard one. But I think I took it in to that the soundtrack was the best quality of this film. Now, we have films like La La Land, Chicago, Up. You have, but those are good films with a great soundtrack. So the soundtrack is not the best quality of it. So for me, the film with a best soundtrack, that's the best part of the film, was The Great Gatsby from 2013 with Leonardo DiCaprio. Amazing soundtrack. You've got Beyonce, you've got Emily Sandé, you've got Jay-Z, you've got Florence and the Machine, you've got Lana Del Rey doing Young and Beautiful. Oh, this album is, and Frank Ocean. It's just a pity that the film, for me, is garbage. Actually, I did not like the film. I thought it was a very visually overstimulating. It was just overstimulating in general. It was so loud and so bright, and the performances were also so loud and so bright that I didn't really get a chance to calm and sit with the movie, if that makes sense. Yeah. So best soundtrack goes to Great Gatsby. Now, next up, we have that cinematography. So this category, I imagine it's a film where the cinematography, you just go, wow, that is cinematography. And I said the 2021 version of West Side Story. Now, yes, that movie, incredible actors, incredible script, incredible songs, direction, music, dancing, everything. But visually, there are multiple spectacular shots that are like pieces of art you are watching on screen. Like the scene when they're in the sand house thing right before the Rumble and they walk in and you see the shadows of their figures with their bodies. And the other ones where you have the final shot of this rundown town with Maria holding the gun and it's up in the fire escape angle. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. That cinematography goes to West Side Story, the 2021 version. Next category is Bad Day Cure. If I'm having a bad day, I slap on Chicago. Chicago with Renee Zellweger and Catherine Zeta-Jones and Queen Latifah is put that on and you just have a good time. It's one of those rare cases where the filmed version is better than the stage adaptation. It's just such a good... Well, it's not feel good. For me, it's a feel good film because I get to watch a lot of pretty women kill men. Which is basically the entire plot of that film. But I have a bad day. I put on Chicago and I watch the Cell Block Tango alone cures my bad day. My favorite protagonist. Now I have here, that's the next category. My favorite protagonist I have written down is Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games franchise. I will say, in a very close second place, is Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. I think for me, just growing up with Katniss Everdeen, I got to see her evolve from this tomboyish girl who didn't want to start a revolution to this full-on Mockingjay leader. That's why she slightly edges Sigourney Weaver. But yeah, Katniss Everdeen, I think what she goes through in those films and how she deals with it and how she actually deals with it instead of like sometimes we have the tropes of like the woman character needs to fall in love with the guy, but you actually see her progress into actually falling in love with the man that she actually wants instead of just it being like shoehorned in at the last second like a lot of these films do. So yeah, I loved Katniss Everdeen. She's my favorite protagonist. My favorite trilogy or series of films is the Planet of the Apes series, the new one from that started in 2011, I think, and ended in 2018. Yeah, that's my favorite. I genuinely think it's one of the best written, well-crafted stories, trilogies of all time. And especially it's one of those trilogies like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, or even now with Dune, where the sequel completely outmatches the original and is just on another level of good. Like the first Rise of the Planet, no. So the first one, Dawn of the Planet, is very good. It has its couple of moments where it's like, but overall it's a very solid film. And then the sequel, Rise, oh boy. Oh boy, they fucking cooked here. Rise of the Planet of the Apes just exceeds all expectations, and it is incredible. The third one, War, I really like it. I loved it. I think what they did to evolve the characters and the conclusion of some of the characters in that film works perfectly. Are there some bits that I think weren't as good compared to Rise? Yes. But it was still all round, the trilogy is my favorite of all time. So yeah, best trilogy, the Planet of the Apes films. Now next is biggest letdown, and that would be Thor: Love and Thunder. I've talked about this before. I think this film really just does bastardize the character of Thor and his trauma of losing his parents and his brother and turns him into almost an idiot. And it wastes one of the best Marvel villains of all time, Gorr? Yeah, Gorr. Wait, I have to look this up. I remember watching this film and just being like, oh my God, this is bad. This is actually really bad. Yeah, Gorr the God Butcher. Yeah. Yeah. I just remember being just like, oh God. Oh God. Oh jeez. This is just not funny anymore. They were trying too hard. Yeah. Biggest letdown, biggest surprise, that's the next category, was Knives Out from 2019. Knives Out, I had no idea what this film was about. No idea. I thought it was going to be another stupid whodunit movie with a bad performance from Daniel Craig. No way. This was an excellent whodunit film and an excellent thriller with a fucking hysterical performance from Daniel Craig. I loved it. It was such a surprise. Now, the next category is, it's not the best, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun. It's not the best, but I'm having fun. And I put down Madagascar. Now, I remember there was a period where DreamWorks, or it was mainly DreamWorks, between 2005 and I think 2009, or maybe even 2008, maybe 2004 to 2008, where they were releasing these weird as fuck pipe dream animated films like Flushed Away, Over the Hedge, Madagascar, just Shark Tale. These weird fuck ass movies that were good. Well, they were not good, but they were like so crazy off the wall stupid that you were like, oh, wait, I think I actually like, this isn't good, but I'm having fun watching it. Yeah, so Madagascar is very short. It's all over the place tonally. It doesn't really give its time for its characters to really develop and understand why they do what they do. But god damn it, it's a fun time. God damn it, it's so funny. It's a fun time. Now next category is criminally overlooked. A criminally overlooked movie. The 2007 version of Transformers. The first Transformers film, I think, is criminally overlooked because of how bad the sequels are. The sequels are garbage. The sequels are not good. But the first film is actually substantial. It's actually good because it only has 5 Autobots against 5 Decepticons, and you could actually name them all instead of having a clusterfuck of different characters that you don't know, you don't care about, and that just turn up out of nowhere or turn up for the last 20 minutes of the film. You build up this character, and yes, it has the classic must get item to get this. Must do A to get to B to get to C plot. Yes. But the first one was the first one, so it makes sense. And it even develops the lore where you could leave it there or you could extend on it better than the shitty sequels. Transformers, the first one from 2007, criminally overlooked. Now, next category is a depressing movie. Bitch, if you multiply watch Coco, the Pixar film from 2017, if you can watch that multiple times, you need therapy. That film is so sad. Now, if you don't know, Coco is about this boy who grows up with this, and it's about the theme of death and his family, and he is trying to get into music, but his family doesn't want him to get into music because music is the thing that ruined their family 25 years ago. But oh my god, this film is so sad. Now, Pixar films are inherently sad. They have a formula and it works a lot of the time, but this film, oh my god, this film, the last 15 minutes of this film, oh my god. Gee, I can't watch it more than once or twice because it's so goddamn sad. It's a very good film. It's still a very, very good film. But it's so depressing. Oh my god. Now, the next category is favorite active director, and that's Steven Spielberg. I don't have to explain that. He made Jurassic Park, he made the current West Side Story, and he made The Fabelmans 2 years ago. So he's still great. He's still pumping out the hits. Yep, Steven Spielberg, my favorite director. Now, my favorite animated film of all time is Monsters Incorporated. This was the first film I ever saw in the cinema that I remember. Yeah, this was the first film I ever saw in the cinema in 2001. And still to this day, I love it. It's hysterical, it's heartwarming, it's devastating, but it's also really dramatic at points. Like the scene where Mr. Waternoose is chasing Sully at the end is horrifying. The way his spider body scrapes the wall as he turns, and you see that shot of him running up the corridor to try and get him. Oh, it's horrifying. Oh my god. No. Yeah, my favorite animated film is Monsters Inc. Yeah. Hank Wazowski. And now the final category we have here is not usually my thing, but so it means a film that you would really go to see or go to watch, but you actually do kind of like it. So for me, I'm not a big fan of war films. I don't know. If I have to watch it, I'll watch it. But I usually don't go out of my way to I'm not oh yeah, let's go see this new war film. This war film looks amazing. Yeah. I'm not. No, I don't really. I don't know. I don't really fucks with the war films. But 1917. Really fucking loved it. Really liked it. Really creative. The script, yes, it is sometimes just a simple get to A, then something happens at B that for me to get to C. But it's visually spectacular. The acting is amazing, and you have these amazing cameos in it as well from these really good established actors. And the whole one shot of the entire film is beautiful to watch. And yeah, I loved it. I don't usually go for war films, but 1917 got me. It really did. Yeah, so those is a little flavor into me personally about my favorite films. Or films that have impacted me or made me develop my frontal lobe. Yeah, so those are the films that I like. So let me know what films you liked, and if there are any categories that you would like to add, or any films that you think I should watch that are more suited to the categories than what I put down. And I'd actually love to watch them. Yeah, so this is the end of another episode. Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. I'm available on all podcast platforms, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Spotify. Yeah, listen, leave me a like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Terrence Crystal. Bye-bye!